Yo, Andy, are you here? Nice, nice. So, there is only two guys in here, so there were like 21 RSVPs. Should I start or should I just wait for people to kind of join? That's right, my man. So, you know what? I was thinking I should allow everyone to kind of join, but maybe I'll do the presentation first, and then anybody can jump in with questions and all that. So I'm gonna give everyone like one more minute or 2 more minutes to kind of join, and then yeah, let's wait a few. Let's wait 2 or 3 more minutes, and I'm gonna start later. But I wanna do it quick because there is another thing coming up in half an hour. Solve instant search once and for all, which is like pretty interesting. But I guess it's gonna be like API call about OmniSearch and Task. But it's interesting. Andy, would you mind jumping on here on a call to discuss? I really enjoyed what's his nice name, Ricardo's video, man. It was like absolutely incroyable. All right, guys. Yeah, people are joining. So let's wait 1 more minute and let's get started. Guys, meanwhile, let me know how long have you been bubbling? Let's do a quick poll. Organizers can launch live polls, learn more. How do I run a poll? All right, do it. Guys, do you mind replying in chat? How long have you been bubbling? Because I'm not sure if it's too advanced. Anyway, do you guys hear me? Andy, please confirm one more time, man. Nice. All right. Anyway, it's been 4 minutes that we started. 3 years, 6.5. All right, 3 years. All right. Anyway, so a lot of you might know this better than me, but anyway, let's get started. So today I'm going to be talking about the custom form builder, and let me share my screen. All right. So what I'm going to do now is actually just do a quick demo. So here is the forms. Initially, I wanted to do a lot of privacy related stuff and make sure that unauthorized person could not create the form and all that. But I kind of ran out of time, to be honest, and I apologize on that. However, if you're interested into like privacy and permissions and all that, Brenton had like amazing video on how he deals with features, and it was presented on the Dev Day last time, so it's on Dev Day's YouTube channel. Anyway, so I'm gonna click on create form, and I've just created the form. Name is missing. I'm gonna click edit. So I have no components inside, and this is a form title. I'm gonna edit it. This is a form name, dev a submission form, or not submission, but satisfaction form. All right. So I'm gonna add a short answer. So short answer question would be, what's your name? Boom. Do not judge my front end thing. I was kind of building on the go. And I'm gonna do a paragraph now. So tell me a little more about yourself. Okay. And I'm gonna do image upload, which is going to be please upload your image. Boom, boom. And we've got drop down. Drop down would be, let's say, how long have you been uploading? So I have to save the question first. Probably I could do auto binding all of these inputs, and I shouldn't have done these button clicks, but anyway. So how long have you been bubbling? Less than a year. 1 to 3 years. 3+ years. Okay, this is done. What I want to do is I want to add one more drop down. Please rate my video. Done. Boom. Amazing. More than amazing. Even better. All right. So yeah, the form is ready. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and if I click on this, there is no submissions yet. So if I go click on this icon, you're going to see that there is this form that I can submit. So I'm going to say, what's your name? Gio. Tell more about yourself. A bubble developer. Please upload your image. Got Steve Jobs' image. Nice. How long have you been bubbling? 3+ years. Rate my video. Even better. All right. Now, only now the button became clickable. Until then, I couldn't click on it. Now I can submit. Form has been submitted. I can click on retake. And obviously, if the user, well, you can ask for user's email, actually, if the user is not logged in. Right now, I'm not logged in, but if you want to verify and make sure that one person cannot double submit, you can do that as well. I just went for the solution where a user can submit as many forms as they want. So this is like real, like mini kind of plan to this video. So I just did a demo. I just showed you how it works, and I only get one page, which is index page. Basically, I've built a what they call it, like SPA. Everything is on the index, and I've got a couple of reusables, form manage, form preview, submission single, and submissions. Form manage is the one where I manage the form, which is edit here. Then I've got form preview, which was this one. And then I've got submissions. So submissions, yeah, we didn't see the submissions. So this is Dev Day submission form. So there is one submission. And when you click on it, you see Geo, I'm a Bubble developer. This is the Steve Jobs video, even better. So all good. So if you guys are listening, please fill out this form. I'm going to share the link with you right now. Let me stop sharing. How do I stop sharing? Um, how do I stop sharing? Actually, why do I have to stop sharing? Yeah, chat. Yep, you guys can fill this out. Probably nothing bad will happen, right? So, um, what's next? Let me just go through the database stuff and like follow my form here. Like I told you about this, and we can go into the details, obviously, and I will go into the details, but let's start with the database. So in the database, I've got data types, privacy, and option sets, basically. So initially, what's important is obviously user. Then there is a form. So form, I wanted to do a banner as well, but I forgot. So form has the title and whether it's published or not. So, but this is also another feature that I didn't implement. But obviously, you can do like a mini toggle where form can be either yes or no, and then if it's yes, it's published, and users can fill it out. Otherwise, if this page gets loaded and the form is not live or not published, then you can redirect or just display a different type of group. So form consists of components, and this is a component data type. So I've got type, which is option set. It's either text, short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, image upload, or drop down. And obviously, this is totally up to you. Whatever you want to create, as many types you can have, whatever you can come up with, right? Um, then text is one of the components. Short answer is also a component. Parent, form, paragraph, question, image. So basically, these consist of the uh, actual component fields, and the one extra field is the type. So that's all there is. Component drop down. Not sure if I should talk about this one right now. Yeah, why not? So short answer is a text, right? So all I have to do as a creator of the form, I have to kind of type the question, and that question shows up on the front end when the user loads this page, right? So this is the short answer. So what's your name? That was the input that I provided, and there is a field. However, when it comes to drop down, there is multiple options in here that I also provided, right? So obviously, if I want the short answer question to have something else other than text, I have to create another component, right? Like, I mean, another data type. Another data type has a question and options, right? And this allows me to do this basically, right? So I provided the question and also I provide the options here. So then this drop-down component kind of relates, I mean, links to component drop-down, and that's it. However, when I was thinking about this form is like pretty simple, but you might want to display in here in the form preview, not just the question, but it might be a description below the question. It might have some question mark here, and when you click on it, it kind of gives you some guides and all that stuff. So if that happens, if that's the structure that you have, obviously you're going to use the methodology that I used here. So component drop down, and you're going to fill out all the fields. So then, so I mentioned component drop down, form, and then we've got response and submission. So you know what? Let's talk about the front end for now, about the just the part where I manage the form. So when I click on this icon, plus icon, I just okay, so I toggle the element, but when the actual element is clicked, there is cell. Actually, this is one thing that I've learned from Brenton as well, that main group in the RG is always called cell, and then I always all the children inside the cell refer to cell instead of like parent groups item, so that if you kind of move some stuff here and there, it always kind of refers to the correct component, and it, like conditionals never break and all that. Anyway, so we've got the repeating group of types. Actually, I didn't mention this. So I've got component type as an option set. You've seen this in the data types. Some people are messaging, guys. Okay, yes, so it's nice. That's correct. So component type options. I've touched this in the data type area. So when this cell is clicked and it's not a drop down, I create a new component. Sorry, when it's not a drop down, I create a new component. Parent form is form. So yeah, this is the reusable. So I can drop this anywhere I want, right? So its data type of content is form, and that's how I pass down to this form, like variable current forms form. And variable is here. Variable current form, and current form gets the data from the URL. So this one gets the data from the URL, and then this one listens to variable current form and passes down to the form manage reusable, and that's how I get the current forms data in here. Then, so we went to here, and when the individual thing is clicked, obviously I create the component, and I set the parent form as a parent form, and type cells option set type, basically. So guys, let me know if I'm kind of boring you with this like tiny details, because a couple of faces that I know of are like way more experienced than myself. So I'm not sure if you guys want to listen to this like tiny thing. Then you've got like RG components. So RG components is where it gets interesting, right? So yeah, geek out, bro. All right. So there is cell components. I've got component header, which is text. So cell components types display, and then button delete. Yeah. And then list of components. So component header is like true to every single component. So every single component has header. So this is individually, like separately listed here. And the rest of the items are here. So short answer, paragraph, and when current cells or cell components type is short answer, only then this is visible, right? So what happens next? I'm listening to, I think, yeah, I'm listening to whether or not the input short answers value is changed. Let me go to short answers, and every single component has the same kind of workflows. So short answers input is changed. I show the controls, like show controls to save the question that I provided, which is here. So when I edit, and I've added like short answer, yeah. So when I change the input value, something, then I see these things here. So yeah, basically that's it as far as creating the form goes. Let me show you the drop down as well, if that's interesting. So this area, like the question area, works exactly the same way as it worked with other areas, other components. And then we've got group options. So my approach to this was to, yeah, not my approach, but in general. So my data structure was components, question, and options. So every time this is filled out, I add the option to the parent component dropdown. So yeah, this is not a rocket science. This is pretty simple, I guess. So now what happens? We've got the form, right? And then users should be able to provide answers. So to provide answers, we need form preview. Inside the form preview, we've got exactly the same repeating group. Well, not exactly the same repeating group, but it works exactly the same way, right? So in each cell, I've got all possible components. Only difference in here is that the UI is changed. So I'm not, well, yeah, UI is changed. Basically, I'm not showcasing anywhere what type of question this is, whether it's a short answer or a paragraph question. These are just for me, all right? It's kind of a placeholder, but this provides the actual value, right? What's the question of this component? And then input element. And I do exactly the same thing when, so actually not exactly the same thing. This is something that I figured out like 2 days ago, and I'm not sure why I have not thought about this before, but every time I had to build like custom form builder before. What I have done was I've done, you guys know type form, like when you have one question on a single page or in a pop-up, right? And you have to click next. So that's how I used to kind of, through UI, I used to kind of solve, uh, solve the one button thing. So now in here, we've got only one button listening to the whole repeating group. There is variable called var submission ready, right? So what I'm doing is this button is not clickable until list of components that's inside the repeating group equals to the repeating group variable repeating group response is unsubmitted. So what I do is when this input is filled out, let me go to the workflow. So when this input is filled out, I create a response. So response is going to be empty. So response is when the user kind of submitted the response, right? So I create the response with this component in, and I do not define the parent submission or parent submission. So now I've got the answer, which doesn't have the parent submission, so it's kind of laying around. However, when I click on submit, I create a new submission, and I do a search for all the all the responses that belong to this submission. So the way I'm doing this is every time the input element is changed, and the count is less than 1, obviously, I create a new response. Component type is cell components type. Response is short answer. So this is pretty straightforward. But what I do also is I create ID session, because when the user is reviewing this form, right, they might type their name, Geo, and then kind of leave the page, right? And then they can come back and then start filling this out again. So my name is Matt, for example, right? And now I fill it out. But if I do a search for short answers that belong to this submission, if I didn't add the um, ID session or session ID, then I would not be able to kind of pinpoint this specific name. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. And the way I'm doing this session ID is that I'm not using any plugins or anything. What I'm doing is I think I'm setting this somewhere. Give me a second. So basically, I'm just creating the form previews CS session ID, which is a text, and I'm setting the state on page load, and I'm just creating a custom string length of characters of 16. I'm using numbers, characters, and letters. and the ID of session is that one. And also I'm doing something else here. Yeah, an ID element. So another thing is I want to identify, so in each form, I can have multiple short answers, right? So short answer for name, short answer can be for the last name, short answer can be for many other things. So in order to be able to identify which short answer we're talking about, I've decided to add the unique ID. However, just unique ID of current sales component won't work because of the same reason that when I submit, like when I'm filling this out, unique ID of this component is the same unique ID that when I refresh, yeah, this unique ID is the same. So now I wanted to create the really unique ID for this session's this item. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of concatenating or creating the new kind of ID where I concatenate session ID and the unique ID. So I'm kind of creating the new unique ID element. So that's what ID element is for. And then question, I'm saving the question because then I need to get the actual question when I'm displaying the submissions. However, this is due to my structure, but I could probably create a database structure in a way that form and response would be kind of interrelated somehow in a different way. I mean, submissions and form or something like that, but it's not a big deal at the moment. So, oh, we're 11:57. Guys, do you have any questions? Q&A? No? So yeah, basically this is it. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job explaining everything, but yeah, I'm trying to do my best. So basically these feature permissions, I've not used navigation form. This is how I navigate through the pages. Is there anything that I missed? Probably. Yeah, someone mentioned this. Yeah, I think I didn't talk about the submit. So when you click on submit, I've got this custom event. I create a submission, and responses have already been created, obviously. So I set these responses inside the submission. Interesting about an ID, you could also save the responses in a state on the page. Then they would naturally reset when the page is reloaded and have no chance of privacy overload. So that's correct, but there was a way. Yeah, so you cannot, well, actually, when I was thinking about this, I was not able to do this. So because inside the repeating group, you never know how many items you're going to have, right? So how many custom states can you create? And you cannot create custom states dynamically. Also, you cannot create custom state list where you kind of, well, you could store responses, list of responses, but not sure if that's doable. Let me do a quick check. So if I go here, add new custom state, ABCD response. There was something about this why I wasn't able to do this. I don't. So anyway, I think I've tried this and I didn't quite like how it worked. But now I'm kind of thinking maybe it could work. You know. Yeah, it won't work because right now it's a response. So obviously, at this moment, at this stage, I only have a text inside the input. So I cannot store the temporary data type, basically, uh, because this is not the data type. Whatever I'm typing here, it's not a data type yet. It's just a text. So in that case, I should have a custom state with a list of texts, and it would work. But then don't forget, I have here a drop down input, right? Also, I have image uploader, and down the road, if you're building the custom form, you can have like file uploader, you could have map, you could have a lot of different things, right? You could even have some things where component one relates to component two, and yeah, a bunch of different crazy things. So I think going with the database is basically the best one at the moment. But if at any point, I've asked this to Bubble guys like many times, and if at any point they're going to create a temporary data type custom state, that would be amazing. You know, like I would store a data type in a custom state, and I would say this is the new data type, which doesn't belong to database. However, I would define the fields just like we're defining it in for the database. Basically, what I'm saying is when I click on submit and I create a submission, this is exactly how I would create a temporary custom state. So this would be like custom state submission, and submissions related form is this, respondents current user is this, blah blah blah. And then when I click on submit, I would create a entry in the database, and I would just refer to this custom state. That would be like pretty amazing. I think I use list states, but hard to. Yeah, so there is something wrong. Anyway, Vale V, how would you add an order to the drop-down list of texts to give the possibility to drag and drop? Yeah, I really didn't have time to do this, but I've definitely done this before, where what you would do is, let me go back. So I think you would group the repeating group. It's inside the draggable element. So basically, I don't know who you are and how do you know if you've ever used this, but there is draggable elements plugin by Bubble itself. So I think you would drop the so when you got this plugin draggable elements, you get where is this? Groups, yeah, drag and drop group and drop area. So you would group this RG inside the drop area. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. This is how you would do it. You would group the RG inside the drop area, and then individual cells would be drag and drop group. So this cell would be either this would be, or this would be also grouped inside the draggable group, right? And that way you can kind of drag and drop. And also one more thing that you would need to know is when you create the individual component, you would have to add a order number here as a order number, and then it would be like number. And yeah, basically, you know what? You can go to YouTube and type Best Bubble Developer, obviously. Ah, shit. Maybe I should Best Bubble Developer. I should type like this. Yeah. What a shame. So no, not this one, but Best Bubble Developer, and yeah. Sorry, this one. This is the video. Okay, so you would use this one. Yeah, reorder the list. Oh yeah, yeah. Vlades, yeah. Thanks a lot for sharing it instead of me. Okay, so that's it, guys. I'm not sure if I did a good job explaining everything, but I tried my best. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, this is it, I think. Hopefully this was helpful. Good stuff. Thanks, Joff. I appreciate 38 minutes. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for attending. Hopefully this helped you. And yeah, take care, guys. Oh, it's possible to create a field depending on a previous answer, please. That's a very good question. Obviously, you should be able, because if you if you had this idea in mind, then you should be able to figure it out in Bubble. So how would I do it? Yeah, it would. This would. You know what? This would. I would add a new field. Yeah, there is some ways of doing this. You know what? This build that I have here, I'm going to push this to templates, and you guys can look into it. And yeah, maybe if I have some time, I'll try to do that. I'll try to add a dependent components. What I'm thinking right now is it cannot, like, you would have a new component saying that whatever components are within this component are kind of interdependent. So yeah, it's doable definitely, but I don't have I don't have the answer right now, right on top of my head right now. But yeah, it's definitely doable. What you can do is, actually, if you go to bestbubbledev.com and scroll down, there is a request tutorial button, and when you click on it, I'm going to receive a question from you, like a tutorial request, and if I have some time, I'll try to update this template. Um, yeah. Meanwhile, that's it. Thanks for attending. Take care, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.